We're back, everybody, and we're here to talk about Star Wars. It's your big four-headed Star Wars nerd, Chris, here to talk about Obi-Wan Kenobi, here to get down with it. And, today we're going to talk about whether or not Obi-Wan Kenobi is good. Because we're halfway through the series, and I think that's a valid question to ask. Because we've kind of, at this point, got a feel for the series, We got a feel for the music, we got a feel for the dialogue, how it's written, how it's shot, the cinematography, how the characters are being portrayed. And I think it's a valid question to ask, is it good? That's what we're going to get to today, okay? Now, first off, I'm not just going to be hating on the show. I'm not just going to be going after what I don't like. Honestly, I like most of this. This is a good series, in my opinion. And I just really wanted to make sure you guys understand that. But that doesn't mean it's perfect, and that doesn't mean that it's without criticism. And truthfully, I think it's important to know that while it does have a positive review from critics, it also has a very negative review from the audience. And I think that's something to talk about for sure. I think that's an important thing to look at. But I also think that it's hard to judge a show without seeing it completely. The whole story hasn't been played out. We haven't seen the whole story arc for Obi-Wan, where he's going to end up. And I think that's important to know. As for the characters and how they're being portrayed, I think they're being portrayed in a very positive way. I think that Obi-Wan Kenobi is right on the mark, especially with how broken he is. Ewan McGregor is playing such a good broken Obi-Wan. As for Darth Vader, it's best Darth Vader we've seen since the original trilogy. I think in Rogue One, he wasn't bad, and obviously the hallway scene is iconic. But even the moments when he was talking, it didn't sound quite right. James Earl Jones, he's older now. But anyways, so obviously his voice was tweaked in a similar way Luke's was in the Book of Boba Fett episode. So I think he sounds really good. He sounds like Darth Vader should sound. And he really has some good moments with Obi-Wan, his dialogue, the way he's walking around and just killing people just to strike fear into Obi-Wan and just show how much he's changed and how he's not the same student that he was, the apprentice that he was of Obi-Wan, and just to further break Obi-Wan. Really good stuff. The Grand Inquisitor carries himself well. He speaks how the Grand Inquisitor should, although he was stabbed in episode 2 and we still don't know if he's alive or not. He still did a good job portraying him. It's kind of useless, up until this point, which sucks because he's such a cool character. And he's so menacing in Rebels. And then his moment when he finally loses to Kanan in a duel and he chooses to die rather than face Darth Vader, after his failure. Some great moments, and that doesn't even include all the stuff that happens in between that. So it kind of sucks that he was just stabbed and now he's probably not going to be in the rest of these episodes. Hopefully we get some mention on if he's alive or not and whether or not they just rewrote canon. But dang, man, come on. I get that they were trying to add some shock value and just to further elevate Reva as a cunning, deceitful person, but it sucks that they had to do it in that way, with a character that we know and that the fans already love. Character portrayals, they're ultimately really good. Young Leia, amazing, really good portrayal. Moses Ingram as Reva, which we just talked about, I think she's kind of divisive, between the fan base. A lot of people really like her, a lot of people don't like her, and I think she's doing a good job at portraying how that character should be viewed. She should be viewed like that. She is not a likable person right now, but we're gonna see what made her the way that she is and made her into the Inquisitor that she is. The story itself, it makes sense that the only thing that would drive Obi-Wan off of Tatooine, would pull him away from Luke, would be Leia. I don't think anything else could, unless maybe Yoda, but even then it's a little iffy. So yeah, I don't know, because we don't know where the story's going. We had mention of a lot of other Jedi who have been smuggled out of that planet that they were on in episode 3. You know, Quinlan Vos being the big name, him dropping that line of, you know, the only time you can actually see the path is with your eyes closed and stuff, the way or whatever. So that's cool. Yeah, I just think the story overall is a little tough for some people, and you know, it's not what they expected per se. And there are some moments in these episodes when it's a little confusing, like when Darth Vader lets Obi-Wan go, like when Reva stabs the Inquisitor. There's some moments that are just a little bit jarring for the audience, and I totally get the complaints towards it. The cinematography, while at times is really beautiful, and there's some great moments like when Darth Vader's standing there and the flames are burning in front of him, or just him walking through the town. Some great shots of just how he is portrayed, you know, as menacing as he is. His subtle looks, you know, because we can't see his expression, but we feel his expression through his suit. That's important stuff, and they're capturing that very well. But they're also just, you know, the shaky camera that follows Obi-Wan around when he's running from Darth Vader. I don't like it, you know. I get, like, that's a style, you know, but I don't personally like it, and it feels a little out of place. Some of the moments when Obi-Wan chooses to run from Darth Vader, like, where's he gonna go? You know, why is he choosing that? I get he's scared and stuff, but at the same time, you're not going to be able to get away from him, so why are you running? You know, there's just some tough moments, you know, but I think the duel overall was really good. It showed how powerful Darth Vader was. You know, he was doing wielding the lightsaber with one hand against Obi-Wan, who's barely holding on to his, and like stumbling and falling back, and eventually gets burned severely, which I thought made sense. You know, Darth Vader would want to cause Obi-Wan to suffer. So, I mean, a lot of this makes sense, and I get where they're going with, I don't necessarily know, because, like, how is this all going to wrap up nicely? You know, there's still a lot of loose threads. There's Reva, her backstory, we don't know. There's Darth Vader and Obi-Wan's final duel, like, when is that going to happen? Leia, when is she going to get back to Alderaan? So they're going to have to wrap this up in 3 episodes, and I hope they're long enough. I hope they're enjoyable enough. You know, I hope we see Quinlan Vos. That would be amazing, because he's such a cool character. And, you know, I don't mean to hate on this show. I'm not trying to hate on it. I'm just trying to be honest with how I'm feeling, and I think that's totally valid. And I know a lot of people absolutely love this, and they love every single moment of it. I just, maybe my expectations were too high. You know, it's also just really hard to see Obi-Wan in this state that he's in. And I think it's going to be rewarding at the end. It's going to be rewarding to see him win against Darth Vader, because ultimately he has to. You know, it sets up that line perfectly in A New Hope, when Darth Vader has to leave because he gets beaten by Obi-Wan. And, you know, I think there is a lot for Obi-Wan to learn, and I hope we see Qui-Gon. You know, I hope we see some flashbacks of the Clone Wars era. Obviously, we saw Hayden Christensen as Anakin in a robe, you know, kind of in the distance haunting Obi-Wan. That was really cool. That was the first time we see Hayden as Anakin in forever, and that was awesome. So I hope we get more flashbacks, and we see more of Obi-Wan in his Clone Wars armor, and Anakin in his tunic and everything. Man, that would be incredible, and really rewarding as a fan to see that. Not like just fan service, but like you could really just touch on some like intimate moments that they had that will really drive the story forward. So I just, you know, as a series so far, I think it's good, but it's not like a profound, you know, amazing series that it could have been. And maybe I'll eat my words at the end of this. I'm not sure. I'm just saying right now, it's not as good as I wanted it to be. But then again, I'm just a guy. I'm just a Star Wars fan, and I'm critical sometimes. Truthfully, I think the show is doing a good job at setting up some great moments, but I think as a whole, it's not really doing justice to what we expected, if that makes sense. Probably doesn't, but then again, I'm just a guy, okay? I'm just a guy. And, you know, I'm just a simple man trying to make his way in the galaxy. Thank you guys for watching. I hope that at the end of this, we can all come together and we can really just revel in how much we loved this series and how amazing it was to see Obi-Wan on screen again, to see Darth Vader, to see Leia, to see all these iconic characters. I hope that's where we'll be at the end of this. And, you know, I think I have faith in Deborah Chow. I have faith in Lucasfilm. I ultimately think they do care about Star Wars. They're not trying to destroy it. They just have different visions than us sometimes, and that's fine. So, alright, I'm done rambling. I hope you guys have an amazing day, and may the Force be with you.